My name is Andrew Austen, and why I'm here today is to hopefully inspire tons of people out there who look like me, don't look like me, just to show them that anything's possible.
So you guys have probably seen a lot of this footage by now, and there's a reason for that, and it's mainly just because I'm super proud of how this project turned out. I've been wanting to do a breakdown on this for a while now, just because we put so much time and effort into it. To give you the whole background and background story, I actually saw this video released by FootJoy and Step Studios probably like 2 years ago at this point, and I was just blown away at it. I thought it was like the craziest shit I've ever seen, honestly. Immediately after that, of course, I was like, I have to make something similar to that. Honestly, I think months went by where I was just trying to make something like this and just nothing was popping up. I couldn't find the golfers, I couldn't find the story or the music I wanted, so I kind of put it off for a while. Fast forward to probably November of 2022, I'm just scrolling through TikTok and I see Andrew. I left a message about asking if he would want to make a video with me, and he immediately replied yes. Fast forward to March 2023, and we finally got him in the studio to start this project. The video was broken up into 2 different days. One shoot day in studio at Blue Bear Studios in Norristown, PA. This was the white cyc portion, where they actually had 3 600Cs on the grid above us, allowing us to do so much more and way cooler lighting than we thought we were able to. In this scene, along with the 3 600Cs, we also had a 600X from Aperture, keying Andrew on the left side just to give some ambient light, so when it goes dark like this, you still see him. Another really cool thing we did, which was my gaffer's idea, was to add a little bit of an accent light with the Aperture spotlight mount. This was just a light set to daylight and narrowed down so the beam was really skinny on the background. I didn't want like a typical slash you might see on the background because it would just be too overwhelming, but I think adding something like this is just enough of a touch to make it not so overwhelmingly blue in the scene. Since we knew the interview was going to play throughout the entire video, I thought we should spend a lot of time making this look as nice as possible. Starting with the key, we always use the 600X from Aperture, and typically it'll just go through a 4x silk. We also utilized the studio's 3 600Cs on the grid, and we just set those to kind of a teal bluish color. Along with that, I added a slash just for a little bit of separation on the background. Since it was just set to daylight, it just took the blue out of the wall and showed the actual white. Here we actually have a really good picture of how the setup actually went. You can kind of see the 600X on frame left through the quarter silk. We had the spotlight, which was kind of far away actually just to get the perfect shape. And then the 60X on the right side, just giving a little bit of a fill and accent on his left side cheek. You also see that 4x floppy on the left side next to the 600. That was just to kind of take away any spill the light would have going onto the blue and taking away from the color. Another thing I like doing lately is adding a bottomer to all my key lights. This kind of just adds some separation and divvies up the light a little bit on your key light so it's not so sourcey. Here you could see I used a 4x negative wag flag to do that at the bottom of the light. Like I said, we used this slash in the background just to kind of create some separation. I wasn't too keen on the A-cam angle of this, but for the B-cam it actually looked really good. I thought for the A-cam it kind of took away from the focus of our subject, but for the B-cam, since the light is kind of leading into Andrew's head, it kind of forces your focus back on his face. As soon as we got the main interview knocked out, we started getting other B-roll that was just kind of extra footage. There was no real plan for the day aside from a couple master shots, but most of it was just kind of go as we go and see what we can make. This shot, for instance, was actually just found because we were flipping lights on and off, seeing what, contrast we could make. This was the 600X bouncing into the white cyc floor and bouncing back into Andrew. We're really glad the studio had the 300Cs on the ceiling because it allowed us to do a lot more different lighting tactics. For instance, in this scene, we utilized the 3 600Cs on the ceiling just to kind of give us a little bit of a different effect. They were in a pulse mode, so they were kind of darkening and brightening back and forth just to kind of give us some back and forth contrast. Same sort of idea for this. In this certain shot, we wanted to show off as prosthetics, so we added this little highlight in the background just to make it pop off the background a little bit more. I don't think you definitely need an accent like this, but I think an accent helps kind of divvy up the lighting a little bit more and it's not so overwhelmingly blue. For the outdoor stuff, there wasn't a whole lot we could do other than add contrast. I don't have a ton of experience lighting for outdoor exterior scenes, but the most I was doing was just flying in an egg. In the wide scenes like this, we're kind of just capturing with natural ambient light. Thankfully, we were using the Vazen Anamoprhic lenses on the red Komodo, so there's still a little bit of a style to this. It's not just like a basic photo look. For a lot of the close-up scenes, I just went handheld with the camera and then we just flew in a 4x neg just to kind of give some contrast. It was a very overcast day, so we had pretty much constant lighting all day. I definitely would have rather blue skies to kind of have a better vibe, but I think this definitely worked out. Overall, I'm really stoked with how this came out. Andrew was amazing to work with, and so was the entire crew. Could not have done this without them. I hope this gives you a little bit of an insight when it comes to the breakdown of how you make an entire video. I went into this project thinking I was going to make one thing, and then we made something totally different. That happens, and it's totally okay to do that and shift your ideas. As much as I wanted to create a really high-end Nike or FootJoy highlight video, you can't really force something like that. Andrew has an amazing story that definitely needed to be told, so I'm really glad we got the opportunity. I'm not a huge fan of speaking on video or being on video, but I think the more transparency we have in the film industry is really going to benefit younger filmmakers. Like I said before, I'm really looking to make more content like this, so if you have any questions regarding this video or any other ones I've made, please let me know.